Well, hello and welcome back to the Shallow Proclamation. My name's Thomas, and as always, I'm joined by.
Paul?
And we did a reaction the other day to the first kind of proper trailer for the Shooty Gatwa season that's coming up. And I think we had some positives to say. We were kind of reserving judgment on the series. We felt that the trailer was just a bit weird and not very. It didn't really hype us up, did it?
No.
And
No.
I think it was partly because of some of the weird editing choices and music and stuff. It just didn't quite do it for us. But interestingly, so I've seen this, but you haven't. They brought out a new trailer 4 days ago, which
Yeah.
uses a lot of the same footage, but is quite a different, well, in my mind, quite a noticeably different feel. And it
Okay.
almost feels like it almost feels like they saw our video.
Yeah, well, I think RTD clearly is a big follower of the channel. Probably watched it and thought that is some fair criticism there. And constructive, definitely constructive criticism.
Yeah.
I imagine that's what's happened, probably.
Um, so yeah, see what you think. I might be completely imagining this. I almost certainly am completely imagining this, but it's interesting.
You primed me for it now.
You ready for this?
Give me the loving! Now, stay back. We are going to rock through time.
Oh, this is so Bridgerton.
This is Ruby.
You are wild, brave, and rude. No, you made it worse.
Where shall we go? Anywhere.
It's you.
Space, baby! Oh, is it the universe, man? Let's have a random landing.
Is it safe?
Listen to me. This is what we're trying to stop. All of life extinguished. You'll keep us safe? I will keep us safe.
Come on. We've got work to do.
There's a storm coming in.
You called.
Honey,
I'm a much bigger bang than you bargained for.
I will shatter this silly little battlefield into dust. In a heartbeat, into dust.
I don't have a people, I don't have a home. But I have freedom. Catching monsters, getting into scripts. So I keep moving on. To see the next thing. And the next, and the next. Have you ever felt so alive? And that's just the beginning.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reused material, isn't there, from the previous one there. There's obviously new bits in there. Yeah, it's definitely not as odd as the other one.
It's a
That's for
better
sure.
trailer, isn't it?
It does seem better put together, and I think part of it is one of my big gripes was to do with the pop song type music to it, which for me takes me out of the experience somewhat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still wouldn't say I feel amped, about it off the back of that.
Yeah.
And the kind of things I kind of want to be, I want to be amped, but I'm not. But I don't think it's not. Again, there's not anything in there that I'm looking at and going, well, that doesn't look good. This looks like it's going to be a disaster. There's nothing. It's not like that at all. I'm just at the moment, I'm not quite feeling it, and I don't know. I don't know whether that's just because we've not seen any of it yet. But then I think back to, when Matt Smith became the Doctor, and we had all the trailers in advance of that, and obviously there we had sort of a whole new cast, we had a whole new production sort of team with Moffat, and they did a great job of, this sort of, there's going to be this almost fairy tale thing. There was that trailer, I think it was a shot from maybe it's from the Star Beast, with Amelia hanging out of the TARDIS door. He's holding her hand, Amy Pond, and she's floating in space. Like.
You mean the beast below?
Yeah, what did I say? Yeah, sorry, it's a Star Beast, didn't I? Yeah, I do mean the beast below. Yeah. I don't know. I feel it's still hard to get a sense of anything from it. I mean, I'm hoping that I'm going to go into the episodes and just really, really enjoy them. But I don't know. I think it is a better put together trailer, undoubtedly.
And they have definitely graded that shot differently. It's so washed out in the previous trailer.
Yeah, this looks much more muted, doesn't it, in terms of colours?
Yeah, which I much prefer, the more cinematic kind of hard lights and darks. So I think that works better for Doctor Who. It's more dramatic, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll be interested to... I mean, that shot there with the Doctor singing there,
Yeah.
Having had the goblins singing at Christmas, I will confess myself mildly concerned, but
and some people have been saying like it really feels like this would be a really good kind of regular costume. It's just a great look, isn't it? I think some people are a bit frustrated at the outfit changes.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I said before from a lot of the promo shots that were coming out well in advance of the trailers that it seemed like the Doctor was always wearing a different outfit all the time. And I kind of like to have an established outfit, even if it varies over time, like it does with sort of Tennant and Smith. And you get it a lot in the classic era as well, that we'll see with Pertwee as we go on that his outfit keeps a theme but varies. I mean, you can see in that thumbnail there, like that's for me. I'm like, I want to see that as the sort of default,
right? Yeah.
If we're going to do it, I'd go with it all the time, and for the large part of it. And I prefer that top. There was an orange one, wasn't there, in the original promo shots?
Oh yeah, the kind of orange, kind of jumper,
very neon
almost,
sort of jumper. Yeah. And I actually prefer this sort of one there.
Yeah, and it's a small thing, but I kind of like this breaking the fourth wall in the trailer because it reminds me of the very first promos for the Christopher Eccleston.
Do you want to come with me?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a nice throwback. I know it's a little bit silly.
This kind of looks, to me, this opening bit looks a bit like he's in a James Bond film.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? This is like a side room in the TARDIS, isn't it? But it looks really weird.
You ready for this?
Yeah. So like the first half of this trailer is almost identical to the previous trailer, but then it kind of, to me, it becomes a bit more dramatic for the second half. But I know what you mean. It's still not quite. What does it take to amp Paul, would you say?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I'll tell you what we don't see in any of these trailers is we don't see any. There's no returning. I was going to say no returning characters. That's not true. We obviously see Rose, but there's no kind of like, oh my goodness, it's a Cyberman, it's a Dalek, it's a,
yeah, that's a
there's
good
nothing
point.
like that at all.
Did you recognise any of the monsters?
Not that I recall seeing anything. Or if they are, they're very much done in passing.
Yeah, because there's that green sheesh combobulator, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean that looks pretty cool. That one.
Is it safe?
Monster.
Yeah.
That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. And this lady is interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think she was in the previous trailer much.
I think I'm hoping that. Yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe it's just a tone issue.
Right.
Yeah. I like my Doctor Who's tone. I mean, I like all Doctor Who, regardless.
Yeah.
On the whole. And I like that Doctor Who can do anything. So, we in the Hartnell era, we watched the Romans, and Doctor Who can get away with being a comedy. But if it was like that, I don't like it to be too light-hearted. I like it to have to feel like there's a bit of depth to it. And some of the greatest episodes, I think, particularly in the new era, the modern era of Who, have been ones that have had some sort of emotional depth. And there's a little bit too much maybe for me, it looks a little bit too jokey, some of this, but until we see
Yeah.
it, we won't really know. Like he's like space babies, and I'm like, I don't know, like,
And that is a worry about the Disneyfication, isn't it? Whether it's Disney or whether it's Russell playing to a more kind of modern Disney or crowd, or sort of going with the TikTok generation vibe of kind of very ironically detached, like the Guardians of the Galaxy thing, where they're kind of constantly making a joke about what they're doing, and it can undermine the scene, can't it?
yeah. I mean, that's one of the criticisms of the new phase of Marvel, is that it's become too aware of itself, and it's basically, it feels like it's mocking itself.
Yeah. And I feel like it's one of the things that was charming, has always been charming about Doctor Who, is that it is silly. Like it's undoubtedly silly. A huge amount of it is silly, but it just runs with it.
But I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm definitely. I mean, I always roll my eyes when I see people commenting on things and say like, "The show is dead," and it's like you've seen a 10-second trailer. Like you can't possibly know that at all. This might be. We might get to the end of these 8 episodes and be like, "That was an absolutely stonking series."
Yeah.
And we might say, "Cool, given that it was such a good series, what a shame the trailers would just look so crap."
But yeah, no, exactly. You're completely right. And I think Russell is very good at I mean, even in Church on Ruby Road, there were some promising signs there that he is still going to do the emotional family stuff, and kind of that has a weight to it.
Yeah.
I thought that was the best part of that episode, was when he thinks Ruby's gone and he's sort of talking to the mother figure, and so I'm hopeful.
Yeah, and I think actually like that was the strength of the RTD era anyway, previously, that there was such good character development and characters were very well rounded and had a sort of backstory around them, and I'm hoping for more of that, really.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that gives you a fully orbed character rather than oh yeah, we've just remembered Yaz is a police officer. Like,
or Ryan's character arc is that he learns to ride a bike.
yeah, Ryan's got dyspraxia for about 2 episodes until he forgets about it.
Care about it, and then he goes to Patagonia.
Yeah,
great. Well, let us know what you think in the comments. And we will be back soon. It's going to be interesting. The release schedule of the 2 episodes is a shame, I think. And apparently Russell did want, he wanted the Beatles one to come out like on the same night as Eurovision. It was a Disney intervention that led to those 2 episodes coming out at an awkward time on the same day. But hey, yeah, great. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.